Don't get me wrong, after more than 2 years of use and a lot of wear and tear, I still love the camp kitchen and will continue to use it. I built it so that it can fit and function inside as well as outside of the 4Runner. But things change. Whether I just want to make coffee on a cold morning or if I'm camping stealth, I found myself in need of a smaller kit exclusively for inside use. And so I put together this no-build mini kitchen.
All right, let's start with the box itself. Douglas. So this is everything in it that I could possibly take in it. I'm going to take everything out so we can go piece by piece, but let's talk about the box. All right, now that we got everything out, I chose this box. Well, first of all, it folds flat. Initially, I was under the impression that I would keep it this way and then load it before I leave and unload it when I get back and flatten it back. What has really happened is I just leave it expanded with the stuff in it and grab it and go. It has a top, same on both sides, and so you do the, see it's got a frame that holds it all together. You just kind of strap it on. It's been a while since I put it back together, and this is the only tricky part, is getting this frame nestled on here just right without collapsing the sides. So down there. That's it. Now it's put together. 2 handles. I also chose this one because all of the sides open. It's hard to do it from reversed. There you go. Come on. So if I have the lid on and I'm cooking and I forget something inside, I can open it up and get whatever I need. Latching back. And our little lid. And it also has 2 wheels, I think. See if I can flip it over. Nope, 4 wheels. So you can move it this way, but not, you can move it that way, but it rolls easily this way. So that's that. This was one of the more expensive items. I think it was about $40 and it took like a month to get here. This was an Amazon purchase. So the main thing I wanted to put in there was my coffee making stuff. So initially, all it held was my mug, my coffee filter, this little rack, which is for the poly panel, and it's got my silverware in it, some other drinkware. I really, if I were being completely practical, would just use the stainless steel tumbler, but I like to, be a little fancy and show off what I'm drinking in basically a jelly jar, but a tall jelly jar. It's very sturdy for being glass. A couple koozies, a cutting board. This was in the big kitchen, but I have a big cutting board there. This is the lid for my coffee. A just towel for accidents and stuff. And then this is the little table, which I keep it in the small kitchen now because it's great for extra workspace. If I just want a place to set down something hot. Good. You gotta mash it. Pull that. Pull that. So, my little tiny table. And of course, coffee and sugar. So this is a travel dog food container. But I found it holds the little kettle perfectly and the cord isn't everywhere. A little more emergency tea and coffee. Kettle. And this together. This is like phase one of the mini kitchen. So I basically was just for making coffee, and that was about it. The next addition was, which I now have stored in another travel pet food container, is the waffle maker. So now I have the option of coffee and breakfast. This is the bare bones of what would be in that box on a trip. Actually, this would be the bare bones of what would be in that box on a trip. But then there were times when I was thinking about how can I cook food without using electricity or using flame, because sometimes the battery bank would be a little low. So using the kettle and using the waffle maker would eat up quite a bit of that, because heating just eats up energy. But I still didn't want to really use a flame yet. So I got the flameless cooker. And I did a couple videos with this thing, and basically it just uses a chemical pack like this, and you add water, open it up, and you add water to it, and through a chemical reaction it creates steam, and you just clamp it on there and it cooks your food. It's good for pre-made meals and heating already cooked food. So if you had a backpacking meal or something frozen that was already cooked and you just needed to heat it up, perfect for that. Cooking stuff from scratch, a little more challenging, a lot of limitations. So that is the next phase of equipment. Then I thought, maybe I should add a little stove, just in case, just like a backup. So that's when I did my Temu order, and I got a little backpacking stove. Oh, it's not really it's kind of big for a backpacking stove, but it's a compact little stove that takes butane fuel, just like my other stove. I like to keep it consistent. So we have now a little cooker, and to go with it, this little grate. And I talked about all of this stuff in the Temu review video. So now we have the stove and this grate, and what I thought would be ideal is if I could replace this vessel with something that I could use, because this has this plastic thing. If I could replace this plastic thing with something metal, then I can use it as the flameless cooker, and then I can use it on the flame, and then it's one cooking vessel. I have had this little bento container for a while now. I picked it up, one of my neighbors was moving and she's just giving stuff away, so I picked it up. And it has several layers in it. It's got that lid, and it's got this layer, which I think is a plate. It has an inner layer, and it has an outer layer. So you could put your pouch in there, delete this entirely, and then you can use it, the flameless cooker part. So you put your food in here and put your lid on, flameless cooker. But also, you can use this on the stove. We don't need any of this plastic stuff anymore. But we do need something to pick it up with. So I also got this on Temu, because this is going to get very hot. And now we have this pan, we have this pan. Perfect, right? And I just borrow the little neoprene sleeve from the flameless cooker, the original one, if I want to use that as a flameless cooker, and then our little plate. So 2-in-1. I love it. And while I was doing my Temu shopping, I got another cooking vessel. I don't remember why I got this one other than I just really wanted one, but it is duplicative. Since I already have this, I mainly ordered it because I thought it had a steamer basket in it. It didn't. I have snacks in here now. I want it to pay its rent for being in the box. So it holds snacks, even though it's an unnecessary vessel. But I thought it had a steamer basket in it, so then I could cook with this, I could cook with this, I could steam, you know. It didn't come with a steamer basket, but I did order one from Amazon, so I can steam with that. But wait, there's more. While I was putting together my team order, one more thing I got was the oil dispenser to replace my spray oil. So that. The spice thingy. Let's see. It's got my salt and sugar and instant coffee, and then I usually put coffee grounds in this last one. And so that replaces these two. And this little thing hangs on my little wooden panel. Nearly forgot my favorite thing. This is a stovetop sandwich maker. I call it the indoor pie iron because it works the same way. I see these a lot in the Japanese camping videos. Seems to be a pretty common cooking tool. I wanted a very specific one, and that is one without ridges. I didn't want to make a panini sandwich, a grilled sandwich every time. Sometimes I want it flat. So no grill ridges. The other just as important feature is comes apart. So cleaning, obviously a reason for that, but also now I have a frying pan. So I don't need to get a separate frying pan. So I have a frying pan for the mini kitchen, and it fits perfectly on this little thing. I love this thing. I forgot it because it was in our house kitchen, and I've been making things with it for like 3 weeks now, so I can't wait to try it out camping. But I love this thing. Stovetop sandwich maker. Wow, okay, so this is all of it. Let me put it together for a nice family picture. Oh my gosh, it's so many things. Kind of ridiculous. That's a lot. All right, so am I done yet? Probably not. Well, I do like this box, and I like its small footprint. It is a bit limited in workspace. Example. So I have the stove going, and there's a fuel canister here. I'm not going to put it in, but say there's a fuel canister there. I have no space for my ingredients or anything like that. I can give myself a little more workspace, thus. So, I can cook, and a little risky, but doable. So that's one option, but what I would love to do is create a frame that goes over this lid, and then like wings come out, or just one flips out, and then I've got like a side space over here, or two little spaces, and then you could just take the whole thing off. So that's future state, you know, when I have time. Near term, what I think would be cool is if I put some little bed tray legs on the underside of here, so that when I've got my food all prepped, I can just lift it up, take the legs down, and it might be too narrow for my lap. Maybe have breakfast in bed, or just sit it off to the side. I don't know. This needs legs, so that I could probably do soon. But overall, this has been a journey. and it ain't over yet.